On this episode of China Uncensored, what were these architects thinking? Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. China has a rich history of amazing architecture, carved stone bridges, towering pagodas, and thousand-year-old temples. Engineering marvels like the Great Wall of China and the Forbidden City are recognizable the world over. But who cares about that? Obviously not Chairman Mao. During the Cultural Revolution, many ancient buildings, along with anything else from China's rich history, was targeted for destruction by the Communist Party. So only a small fraction of this rich history still exists today. Perhaps the absence of this cultural tradition is why modern China has come up with some very different types of buildings. In fact, there is such a preponderance of bizarre buildings in China that at the end of last year, Chinese leader Xi Jinping actually made a call to end, and I quote, weird architecture. Okay, that's not an exact quote. That was the English translation of however you say weird architecture in Mandarin. Might that sound a little subjective? Of course. That's how the Communist Party works. The guy in charge makes a vague pronouncement, then all the underlings have to scramble to figure out what he meant. So that means the two giant and pink spires that could clean away air pollution they were going to build in Wuhan might not ever happen. But even though we might not be seeing much new bizarre architecture in China, there's already plenty of strange buildings to gawk at. So before they're torn down, here's China Uncensored's top 12 craziest buildings in China. Number 12, bravely going where no architecture has gone before. The chairman of a gaming company in Fuzhou is a major Trekkie, and so he decided to build this. His company headquarters in the shape of Star Trek's USS Enterprise. It cost $160 million to build, and amazingly, he actually got permission from CBS Broadcasting first. Seems like a fun place to work until the holograms come to life again. Number 11, Big Pants. Many in China refer to the headquarters of state-run CCTV as Big Pants because it looks like a set of big pants. Now, while that might seem strange at first, it does make sense. In 2009, the Beijing Television Cultural Center, then under construction and located right next to the Big Pants, erupted in a massive blaze. CCTV officials authorized the illegal fireworks display that started the inferno. So considering CCTV's reputation for journalistic integrity, this proves the old adage, liar, liar, pants on fire. Number 10, practical buildings. You know what I like? Buildings that are in the shape of the things they're supposed to be for. Like this liquor factory in Sichuan for the brand Wuliangye. Number 9. Now this building design really rings true for me. A giant mobile phone building in Kunming. Number 8. If you're going to have a concert hall, you should obviously build it in the shape of musical instruments. This one in Anhui province is in the shape of a piano and it's standing up, so it could be a cello or double bass, but I think it's supposed to be a violin. Anyway, if you want to get inside the piano building, just be sure you don't forget the keys. Number 7. This building is anything but short and stout. Wuxi in Jiangsu province is famous for producing high-quality Wuxi clay teapots. So naturally, you'd want to make the tourist center there into a 10-story tall teapot that rotates. Number 6. Now I don't want to get anyone in hot water, but there are a lot of knockoffs in China. Maybe that's why there's not one, but 2 teapot buildings. This one is a tea museum in Guizhou. It's almost 250 feet tall. Sorry, Chester's Teapot, you aren't the tallest teapot in the world anymore. Number 5, the U.S. Capitol? In Jiangsu province, for some reason, they've built knockoff versions of the U.S. Capitol. Yes, that's versions, plural. Apparently, it's a trend? Anyway, it's too bad the local government is not also trying to copy the idea of fair trials and the rule of law. Number 4, the Eiffel Tower. The icon of modern French architecture. I've always wanted to see it next time I visit China. A town outside of Shanghai has built a knockoff version of Paris. Parts of it are exquisitely detailed, except it's a ghost town. The perfect place to visit if you want to pretend you're in a post-apocalyptic world. Or, if you want to do that, you could just go to Beijing. Oh, sorry, that was a picture from Blade Runner. Here's Beijing. Number 3. World of Warcraft Theme Park. Bootlegging doesn't end in the real world. This is Changzhou's massively illegal World of Warcraft theme park. And with all the detail put into it, it certainly earned its $48 million price tag. Of course, there was no permission given to build this, but intellectual property theft really isn't the biggest concern in China. Number 2. Sci-Fi Zen. This is the Famen Temple in Shanxi. This original part of the temple is more than 1,000 years old. They restored it after the Red Guard damaged it during the Cultural Revolution. But why stop there when you can also build this next door, the Famen Temple Cultural Scenic Area? I don't know about you, but it looks like it would fit in nicely on the set of a 1950s science fiction movie like Forbidden Planet. Number 1. Immortal Construction. And finally, speaking of restoring China's rich traditions after the Cultural Revolution, that tradition is now coming back in the most knockoff way possible, with the 10-story Tianzi Hotel in Langfang, Hebei Province. The 3 deities represent longevity, fortune, and prosperity, though I have a feeling that prosperous travelers might have better fortune staying at the Sheraton Hotel nearby. So those are my top 12 craziest looking buildings in China. Which one's your favorite? And if you could design a new building in China, what would it be? Draw a sketch and email it to me, and I'll post the best ones on the China Uncensored Facebook page. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time. I have a riddle for you. When is an island not an island? When it's not a freaking island! And can somebody just please tell China that before we end up at war with them? The Pentagon announced this Tuesday that China is building up weapons on islands in the South China Sea. And the US is not only sending their military to patrol the region, US Defense Secretary Carter wants to give $425 million to China's neighbors so they can beef up their own fleets. Here are the top 6 tainted exported Chinese products. Number 6, tainted milk. Melamine is a wonderful fire-resistant chemical compound useful in making, for example, plastic dinnerware. Also, when added to diluted milk, it can make it appear in tests as if the milk has higher protein content, which is why Chinese state-owned dairy producer Sanlu Group added melamine to its milk and infant formula. It's like when you steal from your parents' tequila bottle and replace the missing amount with water. Only instead of water, you add rubbing alcohol.